In Balochistan, a province long marked by political unrest and human rights violations, families are taking to the streets to protest the ongoing issue of forced disappearances. Relatives of two young men who went missing earlier this month have staged a sit-in protest in the town of Turbat, demanding justice. However, their efforts to seek accountability have been met with state repression, highlighting the ongoing struggle for basic freedoms in Pakistan's southwestern region. Here's more on the situation from Balochistan.
In Balochistan's Turbat city, a protest is quietly growing as the families of two Baloch youths, Sherjan Darwish Baloch and Irshad, gather to demand answers about their sudden and unexplained disappearances. The two men went missing in early November, adding their names to a long list of missing persons in Balochistan, a province that has suffered from decades of political instability and military crackdowns. Sherjan and Irshad's families are not alone in their grief. Enforced disappearances have become a grim reality for many in this region, as Baloch activists, students and intellectuals are often abducted by Pakistan's security forces. In this case, despite their peaceful sit-in, the protesters have faced a hostile response. Local authorities, supported by the Frontier Corps, have set up roadblocks to prevent the families from marching to the district commissioner's office while threatening further action if they persist.
The main problem why each and every government in Pakistan is failed to recover or do something in favor of missing person and forced disappearances, because the people, they've been missing, they are disappeared. This is not the policy of government, this is the policy of the state. And as concerned as the government is always came on the shoulder of the same state. This is true in Pakistan. Most of the government's elected people, they are not elected by people. They are selected by the same elements, same institute, same organization. I mean, Pakistan ISI and Pakistan Army, they are involved in disappearances and enforced disappearances. This is the reality. And furthermore, you can see even the Pakistani judiciary is silenced and cannot do anything in favor of missing person and enforced disappearances, because Pakistan ISI and Pakistan Army keep them blackmailing.
The situation in Balochistan is part of a broader and alarming trend of human rights abuses that have escalated since the Pakistani government's heavy-handed military operations in the region. Human rights groups like the PANC, Human Rights Wing of the Baloch National Movement, has repeatedly raised concerns about the state's response to protests and the growing number of enforced disappearances. The figures paint a chilling picture of the scale of these abuses. In October 2024 alone, 110 cases of enforced disappearances and 6 extrajudicial killings were documented, primarily targeting students and activists. These figures include many cases of young students and activists who are believed to be targeted due to their opposition to the state's policies or their advocacy for Baloch rights. The Pakistani military has long been accused of using forced disappearances as a tool to quell dissent in Balochistan. The province, which is rich in natural resources, has been a hotbed of insurgency and ethnic strife for decades.
So with the involvement of China in Balochistan in the recent past, what we have seen and witnessed that the Pakistani army has intensified its genocidal policies in Balochistan. They will start not only abducting the Baloch people, the Baloch political workers, the Baloch human rights activists, Baloch students, but they've also started targeting them in fake encounters, and they've targeted a huge number of people. And all of that was happening while Pakistani army was creating the pathway. They were paving way for China's so-called economic corridor, which is in reality a military corridor. Their real motive behind it is to control Gwadar port, that means to control the region.
The impact of these disappearances extends beyond the individuals who are taken. Families in Balochistan are left to live in constant fear, unsure whether their loved ones will return or remain lost to their shadows of the state's military operations. The Pakistani government has failed to provide any meaningful answers to the families of the disappeared, leaving them in a state of prolonged uncertainty and emotional anguish. Locally, the families in Turbat are adamant about their right to seek justice. Despite the constant harassment and pressure from authorities, they continue to call for the safe return of Sherjan and Irshad. The protest is a stark reminder of the broader human rights crisis in Balochistan, where many have been silenced by fear, intimidation, and violence.